Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And the Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh, man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me get a hell yeah!
Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to Party on Broad. Party on Broad is part of the Painted Lines Media Network. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Today, we are reviewing and grading Jalen Hurts' performance versus the Green Bay Packers. We're going to talk about, we're going to give our reaction to Jalen Hurts and him being named starter against the New Orleans Saints. And then we're going to break down what the plan is for the Philadelphia Eagles as they move forward into 2021 and beyond. Joining us tonight is my man, Rob, the voice of the people. You know him on Twitter at Philly_Madness. What's up, Rob?
Today has been one of the toughest days that I've been a part of as an Eagles fan. And that goes into losing a Super Bowl, losing an NFC champ. My emotions were so just like a pretzel today. I didn't know how to feel. It's like I knew it was coming. I know that you're going to pull for the team no matter what. But I'm telling you, there was a side of me that was in mourning today. And we'll talk about it a little bit here tonight. But it's a weird day, man. This is not where I expected us as Eagles fans to be going into week 14 of the season.
Yeah, I'm wearing this hat, but make no mistake, guys, that Eagles spirit is kind of low, is down here. Like Santa's hurting right now. He's looking for that Eagle spirit. Also joining us today is my man, Dylan. He is the host of the Faithful Fanatics podcast. Check him out on Twitter at FaithfulFans2. And my man, Dylan, at DylanJD98. What's up, Dylan?
What's going on, Dives? Yeah, I'm with Rob. I mean, you can see my jersey. You can see what's on Rob's shirt. And look, we're going to talk all about it, but that's not the point. I'm not here to bash Jalen Hurts. I'm not here to root against the good team. I just have a lot to say to the people that were wanting this to happen.
Yep. Let's get into it. Let's start by grading Jalen Hurts versus the Green Bay Packers. I give Jalen a B. Carson Wentz was 6 out of 15 passes for 79 yards in 5 drives, resulting in just 3 points of offense. Jalen Hurts topped that production in just 2 drives. I'm not saying this guy was good or amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but he used his legs. He looked decisive. He looked like he hit a couple of deep balls. He looked confident. He clearly gave the offense some juice. That being said, there's context that needs to be made very clear. But think about this. Jalen Hurts' 34-yard deep ball to Jalen Reagor on the first drive was the longest completion to a wide receiver in 5 weeks. In 5 weeks. In the last 4 games, Carson Wentz didn't complete a pass of 20 yards to a wide receiver. In the first full 1.5 quarters of his career, Jalen Hurts completed a 32-yarder and a 34-yarder. So it's crazy when you talk. We were laughing during the live stream. Like I don't think I've seen a wide receiver get wide open in weeks. And what do you know? Jalen Hurts gets 2 back-to-back. And then you talk about Travis Fulgham, who is laughably getting less snaps than freaking Alshon Jeffrey. The simple fact is Carson Wentz hasn't made anyone better this season. With that said, not all the blame goes on Carson Wentz. We're going to get into this. But it was incredibly nauseating, the fact that we saw the first play, Jalen Hurts enters the game, and it's a freaking rollout. I mean, how many times have we sat here screaming at the TV during pregame, during the game, during postgame, during Tuesday night Party on Broads, roll Carson out of the pocket. So, yes, Carson Wentz has been bad, but this guy had maybe 1 to 2 rollouts per game. Doug, what are you doing, bro? So I haven't seen such a large disconnect between the head coach of this football team and Carson Wentz in a long, long time. I made this joke weeks ago where I said, like, is Doug Peterson like purposefully sabotaging Doug Peter or Carson Wentz on a week-to-week basis. We talk about the game plans, like what they should do, how to beat the team they are going against week to week. If there's a game plan of success, Doug Peterson almost deliberately goes against it. So yes, Jalen Hurts looked better than expected, but let's not kid ourselves and thinking that this is going to save the season or the embarrassment that it's been this year. I give him a B. What about you, Rob?
I'll give him a B minus. I think, listen, you come in middle of a game, so that's always going to be tough on a guy, especially a rookie. But it's also tough on the defense. They haven't game planned for this kid as far as being the starting quarterback. Yeah, I just saw this. Brian was just in with us over in the Sixers pod.
Come through your misery, bro. It's all good.
That was a lot more fun than what I think we're going to be talking about here tonight. But the defense doesn't have time to plan. They're up 2 scores by the time he comes in. So that first, not the first drive, if you remember, the Eagles ended up having to pump because of a holding call on Sayamalo. Yeah. But keep in mind that on those first 2 drives, it was off coverage. And everyone going, no, it wasn't. Look, it was off coverage. It was off coverage. It's okay. I'm not taking anything away. The throw he made to Reagor was beautiful. Him using his legs a little bit was great, but it was off coverage. So let's just put that out there. Look, when the defense tightened up, so did Jalen Hurts. Listen, one of my biggest issues with Jalen Hurts, and I love the kid, was, he went to Oklahoma last year and excelled. Well, what quarterback hasn't excelled at Oklahoma over the last 6 years? Okay. And then when they've come to the NFL, Baker's looking like maybe but think of some of the other guys. It just doesn't always – even Kyler's good, but you saw what happens to Kyler when he can't run, right? Like the Patriots did to him last week. So I don't know how much of a thrower Jalen Hurts is going to be in the NFL. Regardless of all of that, when they played defense, he looked the same as Carson, and it's because the offense stinks, and they do nothing to help their quarterbacks right now. Although, watch that change on Sunday. I guarantee you the offense is way more tailored to Jalen than it was ever tailored to our boy Carson.
It's disheartening. It's disheartening. I'm going to get to some comments. I'm going to throw it to my man, Dylan. Vasilios is joining. Thank you so much, man, for joining. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for all the comments so far. Comment, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are on Jalen Hurts right now. It says Carson needs Frank Wright. We are going to talk about that in just a little bit. Mark Bernstein's joining. He says Doug's got to go. Amen, bro. Cam Labarge asks, what are the moves that need to be made this offseason to make this work? I know they're on the wrong side of the cap, and I'm also going to get into that. I might be a little bit of a Debbie Downer in about 30 minutes. But that is a major issue. Howie, you talk about Doug's got to go. Howie's got to go. I think that's their biggest problem right now. They should have hired Frank Wright as the head coach.
Right.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, and let's go to Matt. Dylan just got a buy one, get one 50% off package for Furkan and Jalen Hurts jersey. Why does the faithful fanatics hate Furkan and Korkmaz so much, Dylan?
They don't hate. They'd rather a guy that can do more than just have to hit shots to be playable. But
all right, you're up.
I'm not talking about Furkan Korkmaz tonight. I know by the time the show ends, I'll be going on a rant about him. But anyway, look, I'm not going to be hard on him either. He's a rookie. He came in 2 possessions into the second half. What was he, 5 for 12, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I'll give him a B minus with you, right there with you guys. He gave the offense the spark it needed, right? That's what everyone kept saying. This offense needs a spark. This offense is stale, so on and so forth. Okay, he gave you that spark. Mm-hmm. He gave you that spark for about 1 offensive possession, a defensive possession, and then Jalen Reagor returns a punt. Mm-hmm. And after that, like Rob said, the Packers defense tightened up, and it was game over. So congratulations, you got your spark, guys. Nothing changed. He didn't show me anything. Like maybe he will Sunday, maybe he will going forward. He didn't show me enough on Sunday for all those people that think he's the answer. 5 for 12, 1 pick. I'm waiting for people in the comments. Oh, his arm was hit. He was hit. Okay, keep the same energy when Carson got hit when he threw a pick. Keep the same energy when Carson had a tip ball at the line of scrimmage and threw an interception. But to Rob's point, the reason you saw early success for Jalen Hurts when he first came into the game was, Doug moved him out of the pocket every time he threw the ball.
Yep.
That was my point. Everyone kept saying to me, put Jalen Hurts in and you'll know what the issue is, Doug or Carson. That's not the truth, because when Jalen Hurts comes in, Doug's going to tailor the playbook to what he does well. He didn't do that to Carson. It's not level playing field, man. And people kept saying, oh, the offensive guys are magically open now with Jalen Hurts. Oh, the offensive line is blocking, blah, blah, blah. I took a screenshot because I didn't want to lose this. Someone tweeted, same game plan, same line. Maybe once or twice did the line crumble on top of Hurts. A lot of the Hurts couldn't do better with this line, changed their tone real quick. Someone commented, Wentz was sacked 4 times in 15 pass attempts. Hurts was sacked 3 times in 12 pass attempts. So no, he escaped the pocket more, but the line was still the shitty line that Carson had to play in front of, and he paid dearly for it. So yeah, man, I don't know. He played fine. He didn't show me anything spectacular. The throw to Reagor down the sideline was his best throw. It was better than.
And his third award was look. I have nothing against this kid, and I'm going to root for this kid to do well. Like, people think just because we're Carson guys, it means we're going to root against him, and that's not the case. You know, I was asked. So basically, I'm in a group chat. And I'm one of the only guys that is still on this, and someone said, well, what's going to happen when Jalen Hurts come out and plays well? Will you put more of the blame on Carson? And I said, I can't answer that today, because to me, it's a fallacy that if Jalen Hurts comes in and plays well, that just means it's on Carson. You got to see what plays are being called, how things are getting designed. Are they using the run game a little bit more? Are they doing things that put them in better positions? One thing I've said over the last 3 years since Frank Reich left with Doug and Carson is I believe Doug sometimes thinks Carson is so good that it doesn't matter what play he calls. Carson's going to make, and that's not Carson's not that guy. You know, Carson has a specific skill set that needs specific plays. If that means to people out there you don't want to call him a franchise guy, fine. Call him whatever the hell you want. But you can win with a Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz can be fixed. And all of you that want him out of here, he's not going anywhere. I don't care what Jalen Hurts does this year. You got to get out of your mind. It doesn't work. Andrew Brandt was on local radio today talking about how it's almost a damn impossibility to get rid of his contract. And personally, I'm not willing to give up on a guy after 1 year. Peyton Manning had a year like that in year 4 too. He went 3-13, and threw almost as many interceptions as touchdowns. So just all I'm saying is let's root for our team. Let's root for the kid. I hope for his sake it goes well. But pump the brakes on Carson's done. It was a good run. Just stop that shit. It's ridiculous.
Dobbs, let me touch on that I'll try to make this quick.
Go ahead.
I'm with Rob, man. So the first thing I want to say is everyone that says about her, I saw a tweet earlier today and was like, man, everyone rooting against Hurts, man. I see all these people rooting against Hurts. Y'all are weird, blah, blah. Okay. Keep that same energy for the people that wanted to see Carson fail. I'm a Carson guy. I want Jalen Hurts to succeed. I feel bad for the position this organization put him in, but they caused this mess. Okay. Now I want to talk about why people shouldn't give up on Carson. First of all, I'm not the biggest Colin Cowherd fan, but every single Eagles fan should be forced to watch the video from last week that he put out. Okay. Eli Manning in year 4 or 5 led the league in interceptions by a lot. Okay. Rob just mentioned his brother, Peyton, in year 4 or 5 had more interceptions than touchdowns. They were 6-10, whatever. Terrible. Right. Okay. Everyone wants to say, oh, Carson had one good year and you guys hold on to that. Really? Because let's go back to last year. First quarterback ever to throw for over 4,000 yards with not a single receiver having 500 receiving yards. 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He beat the precious Dak Prescott. Vin, I hope you're watching, man. The precious Dak Prescott, who had a fully healthy offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, all his weapons last year, Carson won the division with the three of us at the wide receiving core. Okay, so it wasn't just 2017. From 2017 to 2019, Carson Wentz's touchdown to interception ratio is 81-21. He averages just over 260 yards per game. He has averages a 98.3 or he has a 98.3 QBR, 64.4 completion percentage, and he's 25-15 from 2017 to 2019. In 2020, we know the stats. 16 touchdowns, 15 picks, 218 yards per game, 72.8 QBR. They're 3-8-1. So, no, I'm not ready to give up on them because I'll say what I said on Sunday to wrap this up. Everyone that's ready to give up on them, the team is the same as it was last year, okay? Carson's hero ball, Carson's heroics that won us the division on a bad team masked all of that. It covered it all up. That's not happening this year because it's not easy for a guy to go out there and win multiple games with this kind of schedule, especially with the same mess this GM and head coach is putting out there. That's what's getting exposed, not Carson, okay? Carson has been awful this year. He has not been good. And to Rob's point with Andrew Brandt, anyone who says that, they can trade Carson, they can do this, they can do that, the Eagles played Alshon Jeffrey over 50% of the snaps and over Travis Fulgham that everyone loves. Why? Because Alshon carries a $12 million tag. If they won't sit down Alshon because they don't want to eat a $12 million tag, you think they're just going to bench or throw away Carson and eat the however many 60 million, 34 million, whatever it is that would be in dead cap? You think they're going to eat that, but they're not willing to eat 12 million in Alshon Jeffrey? Are you kidding me?
You're gonna have a different front office next year, bro. You're gonna have a different mentality in the front office.
But see, and I think if you have that, I still don't think they're going to get rid of Carson. I'm telling you, if you look around the league, if you look at the fact that a perennial Pro Bowl MVP candidate Aaron Rodgers took numerous minutes after that game to talk to Carson, Carson is going to be a good quarterback in this league. Okay, whether it's here or we screw up, as in the Eagles organization screws up and it's somewhere else. No, he's not physically shot. These guys are like, you guys are, everyone is making this off of one season. And I don't understand how you can do that. Like if he comes out next year and does it, fine. You know what I mean? I get it. But you can't do this off of 1 year. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
He's mentally shot right now.
He's everything shot. He's terrible. He's been absolutely terrible. And so is everyone else on this team.
He wasn't on the injured reserve at all at one point all last year. Other than the concussion, which was absolutely a bonehead play, he's been fine. Steven says, whipping back torque to come. All right. No one's going to argue that his mechanics are off. They've been declining since 2017. Under pressure, his numbers are horrendous. But you're going to see what Jalen Hurts looks like next week when he's under pressure and he's playing behind an offensive line that is straight garbage. And I'm going to just make sure I plant this seed before we get into what we're looking at 2021 and beyond. I am on Carson's side, but I'm going to play devil's advocate with you guys because really it's not about Carson. It's about the salary cap hell this team is in. And
thanks, Howie.
Yeah. Listen, you talk about Carson mechanics. That one play in particular is going to stand out to me from this Green Bay game where he actually did roll out.
Yeah.
And he has Dallas Goedert. And you can see that he's seeing ghosts because even though he has the time to plant his feet, step up, he throws off his back foot. And instead of possibly a touchdown, Goddard has to wait for it. It becomes a 45-yard play instead. That's, look, there's a lot of things that Carson is going to have to fix. No doubt about it. But I just think it's a little premature to sit here today on December 8th and say his career is done. He's got to move on. I'll take it a step further. And you might even hear this later this week when Voice of the People drops for the first time. You move on from Carson. this team goes into a complete rebuild, and we're nothing for a few years. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because it's an ultimate total rebuild if that's your decision.
And I want to throw out one more thing. I love how I just wanted it to be equal, right? Everyone told me it's the quarterback's fault. Plug in someone else and the team doesn't look this bad. Okay, fine. Prove me wrong. Prove that point. Rob, explain to me. Now, I mean, you know what? He had the bad toe. Maybe he was hurt, blah, blah, blah. Carson gets pulled. Jason Peters, who was maybe the worst right guard in the entire NFL, gets pulled for Nate Herbig. The backup quarterback, Greg Ward, is no longer returning punts. Jalen Reagor, who one of the reasons he was brought here, gets to return punts now. Once Carson comes out of the game, that happens. Jalen Hurts gets
madness. It's straight madness.
Jalen Hurts gets rolled out of the pocket. Carson has to sit in the pocket. It makes no sense.
It's madness.
None of it makes sense.
All right. Steven says solution: strengthen the quads, the knee. Get Press Taylor out of this. The purge is going to happen. The purge is coming, guys.
Oh yeah.
Make Deuce offensive coordinator. We kind of debated that during our live stream last week. Is anybody pleased with Deuce Staley's running back rotations?
No, and to be honest with you, I would like fully new blood. I mean, and that's what I mean by that is if Doug's here and you're going to bring in an offensive coordinator from outside, I'm okay. I really am okay with that next year. As the weeks go on, find it more and more likely that Doug is not going to be here either on his own terms or he's going to be fired. Where there's smoke, there's fire with these rumors, guys. And I know they're going to say, "Oh, we're having great." No, there's major turmoil in this family. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. So,
yep.
And if he's out, I want fully new blood coming in here. I want new offensive staff. You know, you need to change it up. And I think that's what will happen if Doug is gone.
Yeah. And the thing that I'll add to that about Deuce is, look, if it was for the remainder of the season, okay, go ahead. I would love to see something new other than the shit that Doug Peterson is throwing out there. But as far as like going forward, if you want Deuce to become the OC next year and moving forward, why? Like, I just want to know why. Like, Deuce has never called plays before at any, like, he's never called plays in the National Football League. Why would Deuce Staley be a good offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll on to the reaction of Jalen Hurts being named starter versus the New Orleans Saints. That just happened today. My reaction was it was a move that had to be done. This season has been an absolute embarrassment. The season is over. The fact is you have to sit Carson Wentz down, get his head right, get his mechanics back for next year. For me personally, there's only one goal the rest of the season, and that is to find out any positives you can find with the young kids. And that all begins for me, Jalen Reagor. It felt really good to see finally signs of life from Jalen Reagor versus the Packers. He had a 34-yard catch, his longest catch since opening day. We finally got to see that speed. We finally got to see that elusiveness on that 73-yard punt return for a touchdown. And Rob, I know Justin Jefferson has been terrific. I know he's been terrific, but give me a break. It is impossible to evaluate Jalen Reagor with the injuries, with the offensive line, with Carson Wentz, with Doug Peterson's play calling. The point is simple. Play the kids. Hope you find lightning in a bottle. And I'm talking about Jalen Reagor. For whatever it was, the chemistry worked. And that is priority number one. If the offense play calls as it did that we saw during Jalen Hurts' first two drives versus Green Bay, what I'm going to ask you guys, will it justify the Jalen Hurts selection in the second round? So is there any thoughts on that? Is there any redemption for Howie for that debacle of a second round pick if Jalen Hurts looks like he belongs in the NFL?
No.
Rob, you want to take this one first or me?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll come after you.
No, it will never be justified because A, you created this mess that we're seeing now. B, I mean, we haven't even seen a game yet, so this is clearly all speculation, but I want to take it more towards the fan base, right? No one liked this pick. at least that I know, even on Twitter, like there's some crazy ass thoughts on Twitter in the Eagles world. And I didn't see anyone that liked the pick that could justify the Jalen Hurts pick besides the, oh, well, Carson's injury prone. So, you have a rookie, you have a quality backup on a rookie deal for a couple years. That was the only thing. Now, all of a sudden, it's Carson's bad this year. Now it's, oh, well, he's your second round pick. You got to see what he's got, blah, blah, blah. Whoa. You hated the pick. We all hated the pick. Don't try to justify it now. It's a bad pick. It will never make sense. The package, and I want to explain one thing. He was picked, and it was Carson's job, and Doug and Howie and all made all these comments about how the way he'll be used, especially in the red zone, like the gadget plays, they'll be able to use Jalen Hurts and his legs and his athleticism and all this shit. The package didn't work. The package didn't work all year. The pick has yet to make sense. The only reason we're talking about the pick even a little bit of making sense is for the fact that that Carson hasn't played good. I haven't even read this.
No, it's an but you know what? You can't this is and I'm going to say that. Screw it. I'm just going to say it. This is the stupidity we're seeing. That's an oxymoron. What you just said. You can't say a guy is fried and cooked and then say, oh, but if he starts over here then he's not friggin' cooked. He's not friggin' cooked. He's fixable then.
Is Robert another name for Frank? We have yet to have a person in the comments say the right name.
I mean, if he's fixable, why would you not want to bring him here with a staff that can fix him here? Because the guy, when you are an MVP candidate 3 years ago, you don't lose all of that on your own. There has to be other factors that play into it. And guess what? The coaching in this building is a factor. I'm not saying it's everything, but it is a factor. We have to stop acting like this is all Carson, all by himself. That it's asinine. It's asinine. It's a fixable thing, but not under the present conditions. Like, I agree with you there. Like, if you're going to keep status quo staff, then Carson should, for the sake of his career, he should go somewhere else.
But that's exactly it, Rob. He should not be the first domino to fall. I don't get why people, like, out of everything going on, why is Doug, Howie, Press Taylor, everyone's talking about Carson getting traded. Why is at one point a generational talent, an MVP candidate, being the first domino to go? It doesn't make any sense.
Because this town doesn't understand that. This town is so quick to run out its players. They do it all the time. I just said this on the pod I was on before I left here with those guys. The same guys that are trying to run Carson out now are the same guys that want to trade Ben Simmons like that. They're not paying attention. They're just
going right here.
You feel I can throw 31 picks in 2013 and Carson is fixable. Let's not get crazy with the cooked for career.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Let's roll on. Let's roll on to what the plan is for the Eagles in 2021 and beyond. Rob, I know your team Carson Wentz. Dylan, I know your team Carson Wentz. But I'm not going to echo what you guys are going to say. We've been talking about it for 12 freaking weeks. So I want to play devil's advocate here and get your guys' reaction. The purge in the Eagles front office is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. This team has that look and feel of the Phillies during those end of the Ryan Howard years when the team is old, the team is busted, it needs to get shaken up. When you look at the Eagles roster, it is completely devoid of any kind of young talent. And I refuse to believe that this team, you patch this team up in the offseason, Carson gets his mechanics back. They're another 10-win team. I don't believe that whatsoever. I don't believe it. I think what you see is what you get for the next 1 to 2 years. And you look at Carson Wentz's contract, you can't cut him. You simply cannot cut him. $59.2 million, and the Eagles would put the Eagles at around $89 million over the cap. You're not going to cut him. You're not going to release him. However, if the Eagles were to trade Carson Wentz prior to June 1st during next offseason, the Eagles would save cap in 2021. So that means, yes, the Carson Wentz would still be owed $33.8 million. off the books. Dead money. That would suck. But if the Eagles don't believe this guy's the answer moving forward, you look at the nightmare of cap space, of salary that Howie has put this team in. You know the purge is coming. You know you're going to get a new head coach. You know you're going to get a new defensive coordinator. You're looking at a team that is just bare in the cupboards with youth. Making a move now gets off Carson Wentz off the books in 2022. You're in much better shape to retool the roster. You look at the Indianapolis Colts, the Bears, the Niners, if they cut Jimmy, the Patriots. These are teams that can absorb that contract. Maybe you throw him back with Frank Wright in Indianapolis. If you get a first-round pick for Carson Wentz, you trade down with your pick in the first round. You start adding youth. You then move from a waiting game into a rebuild that starts now for maybe 2 to 3 years rather than 4 to 5 years. What's your reaction to that?
Number one, you save under $1 million in cap space, and you still have $33 million in dead cap on. So I don't think it's as beneficial as people, and I'm not saying you, but people have thrown this argument out there and actually believe in it, like people over at WIP, these smacked asses who continue to say stupid shit every single day. It doesn't. You are so screwed with your cap that under $1 million is really not making it debt. That's my first thought on that. Secondly, you want to know what makes Jalen Reagor a great wide receiver, Dives?
You get him in space and you let him run, and they don't do it. You look at the Niners, you look at the Rams. These guys get wide receivers in space. They
you want to know
for them in space. Doug has no ability, no idea how to do that.
You want to know what else makes it easier to do that?
What?
You draft Jamar Chase in the top 5, and you don't fucking think twice about it. And you don't think twice about it.
Alshon will be getting those third down catches.
Alshon will be gone.
Alshon's gone.
He's out.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I know.
So I understand what you're saying with the building and all, and I'm with you. I am with you. But first of all, no one is going to give you a first round pick after what you just saw from Carson this year and pay him $34 million.
How many of us thought that Al Horford was immovable?
Yeah, but that was a matter of fit, right? And that's what a lot of people said was that. And the NBA is a different animal than the NFL. The NBA is a different animal because there are these teams that need to get to the floor or whatever it might be, and they take on money. And look at what the Thunder are doing. The Thunder are all about just getting picks. Until Jeffrey Lurie tells me he's relieved Howie Roseman of his duties, I'm not going to believe it. I'm just not going to believe that he's going to do it until he does it. So I don't want to trade for any picks first and foremost until I know Roseman's done making these damn decisions because we know where that leads to. I see your point, but I don't think you're in a better position, as much of a better position as people want to believe by doing that this year.
Carson's value can still go down. Like it can get worse, dude. What about you, Dylan?
I can't believe we're having this conversation. And I don't mean because I know you're playing devil advocate, Dives, but I really can't. Like, I cannot believe it took 12 weeks for this fan base to run this dude out of the city. I'm sorry. You could talk about the numbers. You could talk about the cap, blah, blah, blah. I'm with Rob. I don't see any way it works, but I'm still not doing it anyway. I'm not giving up on this kid after one bad season. I know there's people that are like, oh, he's regressed since 2017. Okay, in 2018, he didn't look that great, but his numbers were good. In 2019, there were spots where he was iffy, but I read you the numbers earlier, right? Like he literally made history last year with what's around him. How about you take the guy who has MVP talent and you fucking build around him? Like, I'm getting pissed off talking about, like, you build around him. You don't throw him to the curb and then make other decisions. No. You get rid of the bad play caller. You get rid of the GM that can't draft and built this old, expensive-ass roster, and you bring in pieces. Rob's 100% right. You're going to have probably a top 6 pick. Go get Jamar Chase this year. Go get Jamar Chase, pair him with Jalen Reagor. You have Dallas Goedert. You have Miles Sanders. Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson will be back. Dillard will be back next year for whatever he's worth. And then bring in a new OC. And, yeah, I know I'm not a Dillard fan either. But
Montrezl Sweat last night? Yeah. That's the guy you should have drafted.
Yeah.
You took Andre
Yeah,
Dillard.
I'm not a Dillard fan. I'm just trying to say your left tackle will be back unless or you have my lot. Either way, Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson are out of here and off the books. Give me a new play caller with actual fucking weapons around this kid. Dude, I am so tired. Like, it still feels for whatever reason. Like, how many times did we bring Jordan Matthews back to this team? That's what the Alshon and Deshaun vibe is giving. That's what, no offense, Dobbs, I know he's your boy, but that's what the Greg Ward vibe is. That's what, my God. Look, I like Greg Ward, and he could be a nice third piece on this team. When Greg Ward's your number one receiver, you have a fucking issue, man. He's just not that guy. Give me Jamar Chase. Give me Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson back healthy. Give me Jalen Reagor in his second year. And give me a goddamn OC. And then we can talk. And then, if you guys are all right, if some people see what I'm not seeing, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Rob's missing something. Where Carson is cooked. He's done forever. Or he's done in Philadelphia. Then I'm wrong. I will come on here and I will tell everyone I was wrong. But I am not giving up on 27? I am not giving up on the 27-year-old MVP talent before anything else. That is asinine.
And 19 months ago, you told all of us you weren't giving up on him when you gave him a $128 million deal. 19 months ago. That's not a long time ago. And, what a couple of the other things people are bringing up, like, oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers had to deal with this and this. No one has had to deal with the turmoil.
Right here. Read this real quick before I know what you're about to say.
That there are maybe 4 quarterbacks in the league that could have done anything with it. But it goes beyond this. Think about the career. And I understand you got to have a stronger mentality as an athlete. But you are having an MVP year in 2017. And your knee goes and go on a run where the planets aligned and and they won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles as the hero. You come back the next year, you rush your way back, and you're struggling with your back injury. I mean, you literally broke your back to get back on the field, okay? And what happens? Nick Foles comes in, didn't play great, but played well enough where you make the playoffs. You win it. Your team wins a playoff game because Cody
should have won that game, Rob. Should have won that game.
Yeah. Okay. And there's that. Then Nick Foles leaves. Monkey off the back. You play 16 games. Your last 4 games of the season, you literally carry a team that has no business going to the playoffs. I don't care who they had to play to get there. They had your players on your schedule. And on the second drive, the first play of the second drive of your first playoff game, you get cheap shotted in the back of the head, and you don't even know where you are. That's how bad the concussion is.
And then you got fans in your own city calling you soft.
After not hitting the IR once that year.
Yeah, which is then followed up by in May, in the second round, all of a sudden, a college phenom quarterback is drafted. I mean, this isn't just, they picked Jalen Hurts, you got to toughen up. This is his entire friggin' career, guys. And I'm not – and you know what? All right, I guess I'm making excuses for him. But my point is I'm just not there yet.
Your point
to give up on this guy.
I'll go off of your point because you're right. It's not – okay, yeah, we're making excuses, fine. And I know there's people out there, well, if your QB's not that mentally strong, is he really your franchise guy, blah, blah, blah. He needs to step up. No, fuck. Maybe instead, after you pay him the $128 million, maybe instead of drafting Jalen Hurts, maybe instead of doing all of that shit, you invest around him, man. Look what happened in Dallas. Dallas didn't pay Dak. They kept tagging him, but they put every single piece around him that you could possibly want. That's why the numbers look like they do, man. Like, people forget that. And then you have us in Philadelphia. You pay the dude, and you don't do anything to help him.
You only cause drama. That's really what they did.
Yeah.
What happens if they bring in a new front office and a new coaching staff? Are you bringing in that coaching staff to build around Carson Wentz?
You should be.
Well, I think that's the call of of who you bring in to be like one of my things that I keep saying is like I'm not calling for Doug Peterson's job, but at the same time, if a new GM comes in here, I'd like the GM to make the call on the coach. I'd like him to bring who he wants in here. But I think it's their call. But I'm willing to bet when you hear executives around the league and Pro Bowlers around the league and defenders around the league, the respect for Carson's game is immense. And I'm willing to bet whoever you bring in here, and I'll throw the name out just because it's the sexy name, everybody. Did anyone hear Louis Riddick and hear a guy that thought Carson Wentz should leave the – No, I heard Louis Riddick say, if I have the job, Carson's staying, and I'm building around his ass. That's what I heard out of Louis Riddick. And I think many guys would have that mentality. I really do.
I love this comment by Steven. Dropped him his prime, a.k.a. Jordan Matthews, was brought back here 3 times because Carson and Howie both liked him. Little fun fact, the Eagles lead the league in drop passes. No one really ever talks about it. Everyone talks about the sacks. Everyone talks about the injuries. The Eagles lead the league also in drops.
I also never want to hear that you should move on because the dude's injury prone. Because if he didn't get fucking hurt this year behind that offensive line, I don't want to ever hear he's injury prone again.
It's true. It's true, man. It's just I am just so dejected because of where we are going in the week. Like I said, Dives, we said at the beginning of the year, I don't think I expected much out of this team, but there's no way I expected 3-8-1 and a benched Carson Wentz. Like that's and look, with me saying all of this, I'm all for it. I get it. But see, I get it because the way I look at it, let Carson get a mental break and preserve him for next year. This year's shot.
My take is it makes me feel like an a-hole. It makes me feel like an ungrateful asshole that I'm like yelling week after week after week. Get Howie out. Get Doug out. Get Jim Schwartz out. Get Press Taylor out. And it makes me feel like a terrible fan because the Super Bowl 2017 was just 3 freaking years ago. And am I overreacting? Am I completely overreacting? I don't think I am. I don't think I am.
Because the dysfunction that we are watching is beyond the field. It's not just the talent. It's an organizational flaw that has caused this terrible product that you're watching on the field right now. So you're not like, I get what you're saying because, yeah, you're right. There is that part of me. It's like, all right,
Greatest day of my life was 3 years ago.
Right.
3 years ago.
Right. But when you see this dysfunction and when you've been hearing about there it is. But
in the same tone, if you're going to give gratitude to those two, where's the gratitude to number 11? That doesn't exist.
Doesn't do anything. Everyone just forgets about the first 12 games of the season. It's unbelievable to me that the Carson Wentz haters say, oh, well, and you know what? The only validity to an argument is they say, well, the Eagles may not win if Carson doesn't get hurt. I understand that argument from the sense of there was that moment and the stars aligned. That team was not like this immense talented team. If we're looking back, they were a nice team. But
they did. But they ran it down your throat.
Yeah, but it lined up. They had great leaders in the locker room on both sides of the ball, and it worked. You ain't got that now.
What is how do you guys think Kelsey feels he's on?
He's the only one left on the line, maybe?
Probably. Oh, gotcha.
Can we talk about that too? Like, that's another thing everyone – what quarterback in the NFL has 10 different lines in 11 weeks and can be deemed successful? I'm just curious.
And then Howie Roseman dictates who's playing that week.
By the way, in a couple of those weeks, instead of having one of the best graded left tackles this season playing, you bench him because Jason Peters has to go play.
Makes a little more money.
It's an absolute joke.
No, hold on.
The fact that it would cause drama with Jordan Mailata, the same fucking thing that happened with Program.
You guys are
he makes more money. A joke. The Eagles front office is a joke.
Are you guys ready to get more upset? Despite missing 4 games, Jason Peters leads all offensive linemen in sacks allowed in 2020. The Eagles are 2-2 when Peters doesn't play, and 6-1 when he does play this year.
I said that during our post game. I think I don't know how many beers I had during that live stream, but that was like my main takeaway was like, this kills me. This is the equivalent of watching Ryan Howard die. Like, you remember that Batman comment? Like, either die a villain or live. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself. That was Ryan Howard with the Phillies. That is Jason Peters with the Eagles, and it's been brutal to watch this guy play over the last several weeks. Man, this guy doesn't have it anymore. It's
one of those things. It's one of those things when you have to know when to get out, and he clearly doesn't know.
Is he not on the books next year too? I'm pretty sure he's on the books.
No, he was a 1-year deal, wasn't he?
Who's this?
Jason Peters.
One year.
Yeah, he only going back for a year.
Yeah, no, I listen, and it's funny because they talked about not being loyal, and then they're too loyal to guys they shouldn't be. They're not loyal enough to the guys they should be, and here we are.
That's my take, guys. That's where I wanted to play devil's advocate, and I'm glad that this is leading into that because it's the same scenario. The Ruben Amaro, the Phillies, they held on to these old guys for way too long. Is that you look at this defensive line making 20% of the cap? What do? Nothing. They do nothing for this team. Howie Roseman has created such salary cap hell, whether it's Carson Wentz, whether it's the defensive line across the board. The team is so fucked in so many ways. I'm talking about next year and the year after. Like, do you have to have a long-term plan in place now rather than play the waiting game 2, 3, 4 years from now?
I mean, I personally, I will say this again. You get rid of Carson Wentz right now, you're playing that waiting game. You are. In my opinion, you have a better chance of a quicker turnaround with a new staff at Carson than getting Carson out of here. Because here's the deal. If you get a new coach in here, what if that new coach says, well, look, I'm not high on Jalen Hurts. So now you're going to go draft another quarterback? Now we're going to be here again?
He never should have been a second-round pick to begin with.
but you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, to me, the quarterback, I don't know, man. I look at this thing and say, if Carson goes, you might as well just plan on a 4 or 5 year rebuild.
I'm at the point, and I've said this multiple times. Obviously, it's the team, not a player. Like, I'm never going to root for a singular player over the good of the Philadelphia Eagles. But, like, I mean, again, maybe I'm missing something. But when you can sit here and acknowledge that there's so many fucked up things with this team organizationally from top to bottom that have gotten you to this point, why is the conversation about getting rid of the best thing you have going forward, in my opinion? Yes, he's broken right now, guys. He is. But guess what? Broken can be fixed. Broken can be fixed. Can it be fixed by what's in place right now? No. And that's my point. You can't have the conversation of, yeah, well, Howie built this roster. Doug's play calling is atrocious. This, that, and the third, the offensive line, everything. And then the move be get rid of Carson. That makes zero sense. There's a comment up above, like Carson is like number 6 on this list. And yeah, it's the easy escape to put Jalen Hurts in and see what you have. Go ahead, man, because I promise you, it's not going to be pretty.
I like this comment a lot. Vasilios asks, who's worse, Chip Kelly or Howie? This is a great question because you're talking about two guys.
No, it's not.
Well, it's about two guys who have way too much power. Too much power.
I agree with you in that sense, and again, I know I'm ripping them, and I know it was like the planets aligned, the stars aligned, but one won you a Super Bowl and one's an ass.
Wait, who? Let's just talk about that for a minute. Who brought Malcolm Jenkins to the team?
Okay.
I mean, and I'm not. Listen, you will never hear me defend Chip Kelly, but what I'm going to tell you, Howie Roseman was an arrogant little weasel, got pushed to the closet, came back and decided, oh, I need to be better. Had one successful year.
And that's what I mean.
Weasel again. So in my opinion, Howie might be a worse type of person. Chip is who he is. Chip's just a prick. But he's who he is all the time. Howie tries to sell you that he's not, which makes him a fraudulent, arrogant little weasel. And that's why Howie, to me right now, is worse. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm saying it. Howie is worse than Chip Kelly. I can't believe I just said it. I cannot believe I went there, but I did.
Yeah, you get the sense that Howie is that guy that was never good at sports. So he becomes a general manager for a football team. Like everyone's bigger than him, and he just has that smirk that I'm gonna outsmart everybody here. Can
someone explain this one to me too? Everyone talks about Howie being the numbers guy, the cap guy. How's he a numbers guy, and then builds this roster with these contracts?
Yeah, we talk about Doug Peterson falling off a cliff. Howie's on that list too, man. It's crazy.
Because I said multiple times, Howie pressed every right button that year. It just worked. The Jay signing was spectacular. He brought in Blunt, Alshon. It all worked out that one season. And he's done nothing to keep it going.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I guess let's do final thoughts. Rob, any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are I'm going to really struggle watching. I mean, I'm going to watch, but I'm going to really struggle watching Eagles game this week.
Me too.
Because I so bad. I like Jalen Hurts as a kid. And I want the kid to do well. And I always want the Eagles to do well. But this faction of the fan base that I have been a part of my entire life, that I have defended, whether it be at college in Maryland for years or wherever I'm at, I have defended excessively. As I've started to do this stuff more and really interact on Twitter with fans, I've realized that there is a faction of this fan base that are some of the worst type of fans. That there is a part of me, as much as I hate to say it, that doesn't want to see success because I can't deal with their net. I just can't deal with them. I just can't deal with them. And it is going to be so hard to watch because there's going to be that part of me that every time Jalen Hurts makes a good play that cheers, but also goes, shit, this is going to make for an awful time. You know what I mean? And I hate.
One game shouldn't do that, but it will.
But I hate, and I know I shouldn't do it, but I hate feeling that way. But I know that that's going to happen on Sunday. With that said, no, Jalen Hurts is not going to beat the New Orleans Saints.
You look at the divisiveness of Philly sports Twitter, man. That is like the biggest take. We cannot get out of this cycle of getting out of this hatred. You either this or this. It's like Republican, Democrat. When did politics become part of being the love of being a sports fan? It's pathetic.
You should have just seen the interception that Patrick Queen just made. I don't think there's a player on the Eagles, wide receiver alike, that could make the catch that Patrick Queen just made. Just putting that out there.
Dylan, final thoughts.
All right. Final thoughts. Jalen Hurts is probably going to be the starter for the rest of the season. Go ahead. At this point, you're 3-8-1. What do you have to really lose? See what the kid can do, I guess. But Carson Wentz should and will be the starting quarterback to start 2021 season. Look, I'm with Rob. It's tough. I mean, I got multiple texts this morning once the move happened. I'm out. I'm not watching. I hope we lose 48-0. And again, I just want to throw this out there for all the people that are going to see this or whatever when I'm on Twitter that say you're a weirdo. Why do you want to see Jalen Hurts fail? I don't want to see Jalen Hurts fail, but keep that same energy with the people that openly wanted number 11 to fail, because there was a large faction of the fan base that openly wanted him to fail.
At least
Jalen Hurts this year.
At least a large faction of the Twitter fan base, which we have to keep in mind is probably a small fraction of the actual fan base.
Yeah. So there's that. look, the only thing that scares me about Sunday for him having success, and it's so weird. Like this is the back and forth part. I want him to have success. Like if the Eagles win, but at the same time, there's like, oh man, because one game, if they do beat the Saints, that's a good win. But guess what, Dives? That stirs the pot even more, and it's just not the full picture. It's just not the full. It's that.
Maybe it gets you that second round pick back next year.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing that scares me is the fact that Taysom Hill is starting for the Saints, and that Saints offense looks pretty mediocre. And I have a feeling that we're not going to win, but I have a feeling this Eagles defense is going to keep him in the game down till the end.
That Saints defense is underrated as shit, by the way. They and I wonder why.
Good.
I wonder why. I wonder if they have a leader that can really bring a defense together, manning the back end of their defense. I wonder why. I wonder why they have a guy that you should be loyal to rather than other guys. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah. Completely off topic from Brian Baker, the CEO of the Penny Line, says, is Iowa not the most classically Iowa basketball team ever? There are 4 guys out on the floor, whiter than Dibes, beating North Carolina.
Don't take shots at my Tar Heels, all right? They're in the game. They're in Iowa. Iowa's number 3 in the nation. They're in the game. Don't leave them alone. Leave the Tar Heels alone, damn it.
And then Steven says, last time we lost by 40 to the Saints, we ran the table and won the division. Oh, baby.
Maybe we'll lose by 40. Carson will come back and we'll run the table.
Well, someone brought that up. Say this goes horribly awry on Sunday, and Jalen Hurts is just god-awful, which I really don't think that that's what's going to go down. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but I don't think he's going to just be, oh, my God, so over the top bad. If that happens and the Eagles go back to Carson a week later, what the hell does that tell you about this organization?
Tells you everything you've known since like week 3. Is that this team, this offense, this general manager, this front office, they have no idea what they're doing week to week. There's no direction on this team. There's no accountability on this team. They literally have no idea how to use the talent that's on the roster. They have no idea how to identify talent, top to bottom. It makes complete sense. It honestly makes complete sense on my end. My final thoughts are, I just want to say thank you, everybody here who has watched, who has subscribed, who has commented. Our channel is blowing up over the last several weeks, and we are so incredibly humble. Thank you to everyone who has watched, commented, engaged with us. We are just beyond thankful, and it is mind-blowing to see the response over these last few weeks. Lastly, we are going to be live streaming during the Eagles versus the Saints. I think we'll probably start same shit as last week, probably like 3:45. Come chill with us, comment with us, drink with us, eat with us. I tell you, we're pretty chill dudes, minus Rob.
I will say
it's a good time.
Listen,
it makes the pain a lot more tolerable.
If you say something stupid, I'm gonna put you on the carpet, and I'm gonna treat you like a little baby child in the 50s and spank the hell out of you. I'm just gonna do it. Just deal with it.
And don't talk about Furcon Korkmaz in the comments.
or Cleveland. Yeah. You're not talking about the same.
Before we get off, show off that hoodie.
Oh yeah, what up, baby?
Yes.
We got some merch. We got
get
some
on
merch.
that.
Go check it out. T Public, I think it is.
Yeah.
They have some awesome merch. The Faithful Fanatics, the Madness, the Feed to Embiid, all the greats are over there. Please support the Painted Lines. Check us out at thepaintedlines.com. If you love basketball, Sixers, NBA, tons and tons of content. We're like pumping out videos, I think like 2 to 3 videos a day here. So it's getting pretty legit. I can't even keep up with it. Like I'm the one who's kind of like behind the scenes, like trying to make sure everything's up. Like I'm getting wiped out. I'm getting wiped. I wake up at 5 a.m. for this shit just for all you motherfuckers can have a show. So we're going to have to talk about that behind the scenes. But anyway, we will be live streaming during the Eagles game, Eagles versus Saints, reacting to all the crazy shit that goes down. Have fun. Come join us. Talk with us. React with us. Laugh with us. Cry with us. Throw up with us. all the above. It's going to be a ton of fun. And that's pretty much it. We didn't do plugs. Rob, plug.
All right. For the Madness will be coming at you on Thursday. We're working on a guest right now. Hopefully I can lock him down. But what you really want to pay attention to this week, if you ever wanted to hear me just rant for 15 minutes with nobody else but myself, and trust me, I can do it, you will hear that this week for the first time. I was literally attacked on Twitter for becoming the voice of the people this week, right? Someone, who are you anyway? Who deemed you the voice of the people? Well, damn it, the people deemed me the voice of the people, also known as Bryant Baker deemed me the voice of the people, okay? So we are going to drop that. Basically, what I'm going to do every week is a Philly sports reaction, 15 minutes. I'm going to come on and talk about stuff. I wonder what I'm going to talk about this week. I will tell you this. Yes, you'll hear a little more about this, but John Middleton, the Philadelphia Phillies, you're going to get this week. I didn't forget about you, boys. I'm coming at you real hard, so stay tuned for that. It'll drop later this week.
What about you, Dylan?
The Faithful Fanatics podcast tomorrow goes live on TPL Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube at 5 or 5:30. I mean, we'll post the time tomorrow morning, so come tune into that. Nadir, my guy, if you're out there, tune in. We'll be talking Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz and all that again. But we will be talking a lot of Sixers and stuff like that. And then I also have a guest coming on the following week that I'm really, really excited about. So keep out on the look for that.
Like I said, we're one more day closer to Sixer season. We're one more day closer to Cobra Kai. We're one more day to Alshon Jeffrey being off this team. We keep plugging, baby. We keep plugging.
One more day closer to Christmas.
Well, if this Eagles Saints game was a Christmas movie, it would be Nightmare Before Christmas. Am I right? Am I right? All right.
Die Hard. I don't know.
All right, guys. For Rob, for Dylan, for myself, thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of baseball.
And the Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh, man. And being just posterized, Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah.